Around 1200 BCE, following a devastating collapse, the Iron Age quietly began, reshaping the ancient world. This era is defined by the widespread adoption of iron, replacing the less common and weaker bronze.
The key advantage of iron was its abundance. Iron ore is found almost everywhere, unlike rare tin needed for bronze.
The technology of iron smelting was complex, requiring much higher temperatures and expert forging, not simple casting.
This new, harder metal revolutionized both agriculture and warfare simultaneously.
Iron tools allowed farmers to clear dense forests and till tougher soils, leading to a huge boost in food production. Increased food supply fueled a population boom and accelerated recovery after the Bronze Age collapse.
Iron weapons could be mass-produced cheaply, equipping entire armies rather than just the elite.
This standardization of military equipment democratized warfare, shifting power away from small, wealthy oligarchies.
The rise of the Assyrian Empire was the first major political event of the early Iron Age in the Near East. The Assyrians pioneered advanced siege tactics and military engineering, becoming the most feared fighting force of their time. Their empire was maintained through terror, mass deportations, and a highly centralized administrative structure.
The Phoenicians, masters of the sea, expanded trade and established colonies across the Mediterranean during this time.
The Phoenicians' greatest gift was the alphabet, simplifying writing and making literacy more accessible than hieroglyphs. The adoption of the alphabet dramatically accelerated record-keeping, trade, and the spread of ideas.
In Greece, the Iron Age marked the end of the Dark Ages and the eventual rise of the city-state, Polis.
The true path to justice requires the rule of law, not the whims of the powerful.
But how can laws be just if they are not debated by all citizens?
The Achaemenid Persian Empire rose, conquering the Assyrians and establishing the largest empire the world had yet seen. The Persians established the first truly imperial administration, standardized coinage, roads, and a postal service. The invention of coin currency in Lydia, circa 7th century BCE, revolutionized trade, replacing bulky barter systems.
Coins standardized value, making distant trade simpler and stimulating a commercial boom.
The technology of coinage required specialized minting skills and secure government backing.
New types of iron tools, like scythes and specialized agricultural implements, further boosted efficiency.
Iron axes and saws facilitated large-scale lumbering and shipbuilding, strengthening naval power.
The Iron Age saw the wide application of iron in construction, resulting in stronger and more durable public works.
Urban centers continued to grow, becoming centers of manufacturing, governance, and culture. And the development of sophisticated hydraulic engineering supported vast cities and irrigation.
The military tactics adapted to the widespread use of iron weapons, favoring heavy infantry, hoplites, and strong phalanxes.
Cavalry also became increasingly important, utilizing iron bits and fittings for greater control.
The widespread availability of iron meant that the economic power was less tied to scarce resource monopolies, like tin. Trade routes became safer and more extensive, linking the Mediterranean to India and potentially China.
Glass technology continued to advance, used for decorative vessels, mirrors, and window glass proving. Artistic expression flourished, reflecting the wealth and imperial power of the new ruling classes.
The expansion of empires brought diverse peoples and cultures together, fostering intellectual exchange.
New religious movements and prophets emerged, including Zoroastrianism in Persia and the early prophets of Judaism.
The development of standardized weights and measures was essential for the empire-wide tax collection and trade.
Iron Age medicine saw advancements in surgery due to the availability of sharp, reliable iron surgical instruments. The use of horses for transportation and warfare increased dramatically thanks to stronger iron harnesses and bits. The Iron Age led to more sophisticated techniques in map-making and geographical knowledge for imperial administration. Fortifications improved, using stronger materials and more complex defensive layouts against powerful siege engines.
The rise of the Etruscans in Italy laid the groundwork for the later dominance of Rome.
Celtic cultures spread across Central and Western Europe, defined by their distinctive ironworking and art.
Iron Age societies relied heavily on specialized craftsmen, often living in dedicated quarters of the city.
Look at the edge on this axe. It will hold true through the hardest wood.
Aye, it feels strong, but it is worth every coin. It will last you seasons.
Warfare became a more prolonged and logistical affair, requiring vast imperial resources to sustain campaigns.
The concept of citizenship and political rights began to take shape in Greek city-states, contrasting with imperial subjecthood.
Philosophical inquiry challenged traditional religious explanations, driving intellectual innovation.
The abundance of iron meant a permanent elevation in the overall material wealth of civilization.
The Iron Age saw empires control vast networks of tribute and taxation to fund their expansion and monumental works.
This period established the political and military foundations for the subsequent Roman and Hellenistic worlds.
Iron Age weapons became highly refined, focused on balance and cutting or thrusting efficiency.
The final generations of the Iron Age witnessed the clash of giants, particularly the Greek resistance to the mighty Persian Empire.
This era perfected the art of empire building, combining military dominance with advanced administration. Iron's resilience meant tools and weapons lasted longer, increasing productivity and overall life expectancy. The spread of coin currency facilitated trade and simplified the payment of large armies and public servants. The concept of universal law and common humanity began to emerge within the vast, multicultural empires. The Iron Age was an era of conflict and cultural synthesis, forging the classical world we recognize today.
It proved that technology, coupled with efficient organization, could sustain political structures spanning continents.